a vast landscape full of adventurers. You are now listening to the world of chaotic amateurs.
And welcome back to another exciting week of Chaotic Amateurs, D&D's best 5e homebrewed live play sweet action podcast. Oh, it's me, it's Bentley, your favorite DM ever to grace the planet Earth. And to my right I have...
Caleb is Yamhorn Doril.
Dash as Peleus Eonerth.
Rhett is Durak Dragonsbane.
Milo is a Ren.
Oh, and last time, ladies and gents, our boys... They had traversed the island. They had given Ashwin a smackdown, and they'd come back to the other side of the beach. The mirrored peninsula had flipped them all topsy-turvy like. But the beach looked a little bit different. There's more trees. There's more fun. And now over to the left side of the island, as they looked out, there was a long trees on either side, sort of like long forest walkway. They walked down it. When they got to the end of it, they realized that they sort of gone up a little bit of a mountain, and in front of them was a very large circular stone platter with these large, what you assume are fingers holding it, as in front of you is something that was about 15 feet wide and 25 feet tall, and that's only from about the nose up, Kilroy style, up to the top of the head, what you guys perceived as probably some sort of dwarvish warrior type figure. Behind that, in one of the largest rock structures that any of you had ever seen, at least as big as Fursberg, was a dragon carved out with its mouth open, looking like it could breathe fire at you at any second. And I will say this, since no one asked or put it together, you guys noticed that the ocean and the rocks were different. If you were to roll a high perception, you would notice that all of those rocks that you navigated coming in was technically the spine sticking out of the tail of the dragon, and they curve around and that sort of stuff. So this is a very large landmass that probably goes underground much more. The last thing that you all heard was a voice from the cave saying, "Welcome, Ren and friends. I'll assume you're here for the items." And then Ren awkwardly was like, "Yeah, please, can we have the items?" And then Yami just stuck out his hand and was like, "Gimme.
Money, please."
Yeah.
Money, please. And that's where we are. So, what would you guys like to do?
Ren, why don't you get on the platter? It looks like you're supposed to just jump right on. Or not Ren. Sorry, Durak.
Why me?
I don't know. It just seems...
Here's the big strong one.
Yeah, and there's a dwarf face right in front.
Yeah. You need to talk to it.
Yeah.
Say it in Dwarven. Like, can we have the items?
Ich
They didn't
bin
listen to
ein
me.
Berliner.
You hear from the cave a voice. I don't speak German. How dare you?
Did that man just say he was a sandwich?
You guys are starting to feel a little weird in the head. Everyone roll me some Constitution.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, all day. I'm resistant to poison.
19 total.
I didn't say anything about getting poisoned.
14.
Okay. How do you... Come on.
11.
All day. Okay.
What a letdown.
You guys are starting to feel a little bit light in the head, a little buckle in the knees, if you will. And all of a sudden you kind of blink your eyes a couple of times, and you all are standing in the exact same spot you just were. However, when you look around, your compatriots are no longer next to you. Boy. So you all see the exact same thing?
Durak?
Yeah, I start looking around for Ulagon.
Ren!
Durak?
Peleus! Oh, crap.
You cry out to no avail, and you sort of hear from the cave a light chuckling. You all hear these things that I'm describing.
Okay.
Just so you know from here on out, things that I will be saying, unless I specifically, point to a person or say a character name, it is for everyone to hear.
Copy that.
And you're all experiencing it in real time. You just can't see each other anymore.
Okay.
Only Yomhorn would laugh inappropriately like that. Yomhorn!
I want to slowly approach the platter and investigate it. Like look a little closer at it if I can, see if there's anything
Okay,
interesting about it.
sure.
That's an 8.
Well, you walk up to the the steps up the platter here, and you immediately hang a right, and you just walk around the entire edge of it, and you're like, circles. I like it.
Platter.
And you're like, man, this guy has big fingers. Classic dwarf stuff.
Will an 8 allow me to count the number of fingers?
Yeah.
How many fingers are there?
There are 4 fingers, and on the other side, what looks like sort of holding up here and here, which are not drawn because they're not good at drawing, look like sort of 2 thumbs,
Okay.
like holding like underneath like the back of it,
Gotcha.
kind of like coming up
Like
just
a chalice
barely on the back.
Of hand. Okay. Okay. Well, good. Okay.
So to Ren, this seems really similar to when he met Ulagan. That's
Okay.
kind of the first impression he gets. And he doesn't feel like Ulagan would set him astray.
Mhm.
So I think he would just go to the cave and try to investigate the cave where the laughter came from.
Okay.
How high up is the platform?
First of all, Ren's going right now. Ren, so you walk to the cave. Do you walk over the platform? Do you walk around it? What do you do?
It looks like a platter, and I don't really want to get eaten, so I think I'd walk around it.
Okay. All right, so you walk around and you go to the opening of the dragon's mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
All right. So what do you do? You're there. You're looking inside. It's dark.
What do I see inside?
It's dark. It looks like the opening of a cave.
Can I walk into it?
If you want to.
I walk into it.
Okay.
It's D&D.
Do you have dark vision?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you start walking in a little bit, and as you start to walk in, you see that it, like, even though it's like an open mouthed sort of cave and that sort of thing, it starts to get a little dark a little quicker than you thought. Seeing those, you could turn around and look out and still see like the sunlight and everything behind you.
I do have a candle, and I'll light that candle.
Okay. It seems to sort of illuminate, like if you were in a pitch black room, just sort of illuminate, like, around your head, like, 2 to 3 feet, like a circle.
Okay,
around
so I could see my feet with that.
Yeah, you could see you could see your whole body and then maybe 6 inches in front of you. But it's still, I mean, like if you keep going in, you'll definitely be in complete darkness.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep on walking in as long as there's footing for me to walk on.
You keep walking forward. Now we go to Durok's experience, who's been yelling for Yomhorn, crying out for him.
Yomhorn! The jokes aren't funny anymore. So how high is the platform again?
It's about 3 or 4 steps up, so I don't know, max 3 feet off the ground.
Okay, I go up on the platform.
Okay. Go up on the platform.
We'll
We'll just keep this order. Boom, boom, boom.
Do I recognize the figures of the dwarf at all?
The fingers? Is that what you said?
I thought there was like a kind of a face to it.
This
as
is
well.
the face
Right.
that's standing out of the ground, and then you assume where this is. If it was fully exposed, it would look like a human holding like some
Right.
sort of platter or plate, like right out in front of their face, type of thing.
Do I recognize this scene from like any sort of lore, dwarven lore or history?
I don't know. Roll a history check.
So 21,
Okay.
and it would be
Is it made of stone?
Yeah, it would be higher if it was counted my stone cunning.
It would be because it's made of stone.
All right, so it's like 23.
Okay, so you're looking at and what specifically are you looking at? What do you specifically want to investigate here?
Mostly like looking at the scene in general. Like I'm seeing the dragon, I'm seeing this dwarf, I'm seeing the platter. I'm wondering, do I recognize the scene from any sort of like historical context?
Gotcha. It's not necessarily a scene that you would recognize, but you do recognize what you're pretty sure is the upper part of the face, and you do recognize it as Berendrad, who would be considered the father of all dwarves. He is considered to be sort of a dwarven god, the person who birthed the dwarven race.
Got it.
Yep.
So then if it's still my turn, I guess I go into the cave myself if nothing's happening on the platter.
Okay, so you're gonna hop off the
just hop off
into the platter and walk around the head?
Yeah.
Okay. As you walk by the head, you're now even more certain that this is Berendrad, just because you can kind of see the ornate helmet and everything that he's wearing. You recognize the markings, and you're like, oh, you've seen him in text and other sculptures and that sort of stuff.
Tapestries.
Yeah.
Dwarves love tapestries.
Yeah. So same thing happens to you. You get to the edge of the cave. Do you walk all the way in, or?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, same thing happens to you. You start to walk all the way in, and as soon as you sort of like pass like the side of the mouth, where the jaws come together, it gets a lot darker than it actually should, just seen as that a foot before you were standing outside in like midday or whatever, so it's like where the sun's out and all that, so you're like, oh wow,
okay,
this got real dark real quick.
I do have dark vision. Does that help?
You see about the same as Ren does with his candle.
Oh.
We now cut to Peleus. Okay, Peleus, you were by yourself. All of a sudden, your friends, as you can see here, Ren was on your left, Duroc and Yamhorn were on your right, and you're just standing there now looking at this platter, and you're like, all of a sudden they're just not there. It's like you were looking around, and then they just blink of an eye gone.
Oh, this reminds me of a couple times out on sea. Turns out I had just fallen off the boat. But I don't think it's one of those situations, so I think I'm going to do some exploring here. I'm going to do an Arcana check on the platform and the statue.
Oh, okay, sure.
So 16.
Okay. Was there something specific you would like to do with it, or just overall general magical vibe? Or?
See if I can, sense kind of a magical vibe, if it's emanating from a very specific point, or if there's if I can trace the flow of magic.
Okay. You were. That was a very good roll. I had it just at a 10, just to get us going here. So you actually, you open yourself up to the universe of magic, and
it's right, flow through me, baby.
and you realize, this whole area that you're in, you're kind of overpowered by the magic, and as you and as you kind of like focus a little bit, you realize that each sort of area has its own little, the platform has a certain tinge of magic to it, and then there's a very strong sort of like pulse, like if like you just start to feel like a headache coming on, like on the front of your head or something like that.
Oh yeah.
You feel that coming from like the cave's mouth, up, that couple hundred feet up in front of you up there, and but then there's like a third layer of like, you kind of get the idea that obviously that this whole island that you've been on in this area that you're in has a magical sort of like sphere around it. So you're kind of feeling it in layers.
All right. Then I am going to just follow that magical pulse into the cave. But first, before I go in, I'm going to cast the cantrip light on the end of my staff and make it like a lantern.
Like a Gandalf?
Very much so.
You put that rock in there and it
Oh,
lights up?
very
Okay.
much so. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's
the saddest,
yeah.
the saddest step ever. That's how it starts.
I have sad magic. That's all I cast is sad magic.
All right, so yeah, as you're, you want to like go, just sort of walk around the edge of the platform there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're walking around the edge of the platform, and you walk by the giant dwarven head, his big old nose, sort of like half sticking out of the ground, and you start to approach. And as you're approaching the cave mouth and everything, you're realizing how big this structure is. Like, you're just looking up, and you're like, this mouth, it's just gargantuan. It's like one of the biggest things that you've ever seen. You look so small, like. You can tell that the teeth that are sort of like carved out up at the top are probably bigger than you, and
wow.
and you're a half elf, right? So like you're probably what, like 6'2" or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot what my official stats are, but I believe I'm like 7'3".
Oh, really?
No, I was thinking, I'm lying. No, I'm probably like 6'2".
You're Manute Bull.
Yeah, I'm Manute Bull. Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, Dikembe Mutombo. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you're not the tallest dude in the world, but obviously you're not super short, and like it just sort of like you're like, wow. And about 10 or 15, like the top of the mouth is sort of like comes out, and then like basically where the jaws meet, like where the sides of your lips would meet, top and bottom there, that's kind of like where you where the other players had gone into the darkness. So you approach that darkness.
I do.
Okay, so you've got your staff out in front of you.
Yeah, I'm shining the way.
Okay, and you walk in, and the second that you walk in, while you can still see the light behind you, it's almost like this invisible sort of barrier has now just made it like where you're in. It's really weird because it's like when you're facing forward, it's just like all of a sudden you shut the door like on a closet or something like that, and you've got like the same sort of 1 foot-ish radius, sort of surrounding you. Even though like your staff is being held out in front of you, it's really kind of only like illuminating like a foot in front of you. It's and then it's weird because like the light behind you isn't like casting forward or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
And now we cut to Yami.
I want to look back the direction that we came, see if I can see any sign of my friends or like us arriving there, or if that's been erased.
You don't see any sign of your friends, and it's not like you guys were like leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. So like it looks as though it's the exact same way that you guys came. It just seemed as though all of a sudden when you look to your left, everybody had just disappeared.
Okay.
But the land, the sound, everything, it all sort of, the fluttering in the trees, everything, everything is like, it's just like you were standing there and they were like, hey, guy. Oh, wait.
Okay.
And they were just gone. And now you're just, I'm saying that Yamhorn is just, he's making a second lap around.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is a really round platform.
Yeah. Real quick before I go any further, can I do an Arcana just to see if I recognize that feeling? Like maybe there's some sort of spell or curse or something?
Feeling. Yeah, sure.
That would be a 4.
You immediately after taking your second lap, you get back to the stairs. And very purposely, you walk out into the center of it, and you look around, and you kind of like waft the air into your nose with your hands, and you're like,
lick my finger, hold it out.
magic.
All right.
You feel that there is magic in the air.
I start humming a tune. I'm starting to sense that I'm going to have to go into the dragon's mouth, but I want to take a close look at the dwarven face.
Okay.
See if there's anything that looks like carvings, a message, or anything that I should manipulate with my hands.
Okay.
So I guess investigate the face.
Okay.
7.
Then you basically
Get them all out now.
You basically see this. You see like the nose, the eyes, and then like this sort of ornate thing on the helmet, and you see the grass up around it. There's a little daisy right there in the middle of the nose.
Okay.
That's what you see.
I smell the daisy.
It smells great.
Okay. Then I enter the dragon's mouth.
You walk around and you do
cautiously. Yeah.
cautiously.
I walk around the face, and I draw my hammer before walking in, and it's like I'm creeping in slowly with my hammer
Okay,
at my side.
sure. You walk inside and you go all the way in.
Yeah, and I want to be calling out to this mysterious voice saying hello, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Then the exact same thing happens to you. You get to a certain point and it gets a little bit darker, and your dark vision sort of allows you to see, about a foot in front of you, and that's about it.
Okay.
With Ren's, it's a little harder. He gets less just because he is holding a candle, and so that's sort of reflecting off of his eyes.
Gotcha.
And it is a candle, but I'll give you guys about a foot in front of you.
Jeez.
Or a foot in any direction, basically. You turn. We now go back to Ren, who's in the cave. He's got his candle lit, this little light of his. He's going to shine for Ulagan.
So I'm just kind of like edging forward as I go to make sure I don't fall off a cliff, and I'll call out, "Ulagan, it's your buddy Ren. I think I'm supposed to meet you here."
You hear the sort of faint chuckling. Even though you're closer, it still seems about the same sort of volume, like it's almost been turned down because you've gotten closer. And you just sort of hear, "Ulagan isn't here, Ren."
Who are you then?
Who am I? I'm the caretaker of this island. I'm who you've been sent to see.
Do you have the items?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, can I have them? We kind of need them.
We now cut to Duroc.
So, yeah, Duroc is just marching forward. I know he's only got about a foot, but he hates looking like he's, scared.
Weak. Right.
So he, assumed his most authoritative stance, like he's back in the drill yards,
Okay.
whipping young whelps into shape, and he's just marching in there,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Yumhorn, enough with the games."
Okay. And you're just marching. You didn't pull your sword or anything. You're just marching in.
Just marching in.
Okay. How long do you keep? Roll me a d6.
6.
Great. So you march right in, and what seems kind of weird because of the way, and because you as characters don't know this yet, I only told you at the beginning as meta information about the dragon's tail. What you aren't realizing is that you're it's a downward slope, and you walk about 60 feet,
Nice.
and then you bump into something,
Oh.
Nice.
and it knocks you flat on your butt because you're just marching forward, almost like it, someone to just like lightly flick you or something like that. Like when you do that to your little brother, you're just like lightly flicking their forehead. It was just like you felt like a very large object just kind of go like boop, and you fell back on your butt.
And I feel like I'm just like, "Hey!" I like look around really quick, make sure
And
nobody
you hear
saw
the
it.
high, the very female, what you assume is female based off of the voice timbre and everything, just chuckling. And we now cut to Peleus. Peleus, you have just entered into the darkness with your staff in front of you. What are you feeling right now? What are you thinking, knowing that you can only kind of see? Because I imagine you've used this and, it's probably lit the way for you several times, but now you only sort of have like this 1 foot aura of light.
Yes, I don't like that I can't see too far in front of me. I don't trust the darkness. I like the light. In fact, every time I'm out in the ship and it gets dark out, I go into my cabin and I cry. But that information doesn't leave here. All right.
Don't worry,
so-
this podcast goes to no one.
All right, that's good. So Peleus is gonna walk forward, and he's gonna shout out, "Hello, anyone in here? I'm a wizard."
You hear what seems to be what you would assume is, sort of a female timbre of laughter, and it seems to be from the voice coming from within the cave, but also sort of around you at the same time. And well, hello, Peleus. So wonderful to see you again. How's your mother?
Oh, your voice is sultry. You know me, Mum? Was that you, Kathy?
And the voice sort of chuckles again. No, Peleus, you wouldn't remember me, but yes, your mother and I, we go back a little bit. I've conversed with her on several occasions.
And then Peleus slams his quarterstaff down into the ground and yells, "Show yourself!"
All in good time, Peleus, all in good time. So, why are you here?
Well, kicks and giggles and whatnot. We got bored of the high seas. Figured I'd try this adventure out. Oh, no. Oh, shoot, no. I'm here for trinkets. I'm here for things. The other three are here for something, and I'm helping them. You got something for us? I'll take it.
The items.
They're items. That was the word. It slipped me mind.
Yes. Your mother has sent them here for the 2 items, and you have been passing the test. However, Peleus, your mom played a little joke on you as well, because unbeknownst to everyone else, you're here for part of an item as well.
Okay, news to me.
What is that amulet you wear around your chest, Peleus?
Oh, this whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think I won it in a card game, or a dice game, or I woke up with it around my neck.
Never one for details, eh, Peleus?
Well, I typically acquire all my items through one of those 3 means, so...
She says, these trials and tribulations have not just been for your friends, but for you as well.
Oh.
Your mother played a little bit of a trick on you there, and as long as you pass everything here, maybe we can make that amulet of yours complete.
Okay, well, give me the tests. I'm ready. I can do it, and I won't pass out this time.
And we now cut to Yamhorn.
Okay. From the outside, did I notice about how wide the mouth is?
It's huge. It's the size of a mountain.
Oh yeah.
This whole thing is like the size of a mountain.
So
imagine,
I guess
Mount Hood carved into a dragon with its mouth open.
Okay, now I have reference. Okay. I guess the reason I ask is because I feel like I would try to reach, considering my dark vision is very limited, for some reason, which is bothering me as Yamhorn. I would try to go and reach the side so I could walk along the side, like feeling the side. So that way I can at least track back. At least that's my thinking.
All right, roll me a D4. Great.
2.
So you walk what you perceive as sort of 20 feet. Are you going forward and like diagonally to the right?
I would shuffle laterally first to find the wall and then start moving forward.
So you get down in your football stance, you drop down and then shuffle sideways, and because you're always ready for action, Yamhorn.
Yep.
And so you shuffle sideways, and then you feel out the wall, and you're like, safety in walls. And then you start walking forward.
I feel better now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still calling out hello as I'm moving along. And do I notice any sort of audible?
Yeah, it's echoey. It's
okay.
echoey, like you would assume a cave would be.
Okay.
And that sort of thing. And finally, after a couple hellos, you hear back to you, "Hello, Yamhorn," in the voice that you recognized from earlier.
And do I recognize any sort of accent or anything? Like what language is it? It's common?
Just you just hear the voice. It's just talking to you.
Okay.
It's just talking to you. You understand it fine. So if it's speaking Elvish, it's speaking Elvish. If it's speaking Common, it's speaking Common. You just comprehend the language.
Okay.
And you understand what it's saying. For our listeners, obviously it would be in English, but or Common rather. But you assume it's Common, or maybe it's Elvish. But it does sort of have like this person, which you assume is female, just by the timbre of the voice and the sort of, you don't know many males, even elven males, that have this calm of a thing, but it definitely sounds more like female elfish. Kind of reminds you of Nestlerin's mom, just very calm, very collect, but friendlier in a way.
Gotcha. I want to ask this person, what happened to my friends? Did you see them come in here?
Oh, they've all entered the cave.
Oh, good. Where are they?
Well, Ren is a little bit farther back. Duroc is a little bit farther down, but you won't find them.
Why not?
This is part of your test, Younghorn. You must seek this on your own. And we cut to Ren.
Uh-oh.
So
And I believe the last thing that was said was Ulagan isn't here?
I asked for the items.
Oh,
And-
that's right. You said money, please.
And who are you?
Who am I? Well, I'm the keeper of the items, of course.
And the keeper of the items is...
Well, I believe... Well, roll me a history check.
Okay. $70.
Then you hear a little druid voice in your head going... I'm trying to remember what he said. How'd he sound? Oh, he sort of sounded like Russell Brand, that's right. If you go down to the opposite end, in Indrail, we'll give you your 2 items and she'll send you on your way. So, you would likely assume that this is in Indrail.
Yeah. In Indriel? Is that you?
Oh, people always get my name wrong.
I have a little bit of a speech impediment. So.
That's okay, you're older. I understand. I'm old as well. And at this point, you hear a shuffling of what sounds like a very large object starting to walk towards you. Duroc, you've been knocked on your bobo.
I get back to my feet, and
And you hear the sort of light chuckling. Oh, Duroc, ever so headstrong.
what, you think this is funny?
I very much do.
Show yourself then, and we'll settle this.
Duroc, you could not beat me.
Well, fine. What is it that you want then with these games?
I believe you were sent here for a specific reason. Were you not?
You know I was.
I know, but I think you forget. I'm here to remind you.
The items then, and I'll be on my way.
Oh. Well, if this island has shown you anything, there's tests upon tests in order to get such wondrous items. Plus, there's a little surprise for you. But you're going to have to pass the test, Duroc. And you start to hear the very large creature movement that Ren heard, but since you were so close, you feel this giant thing like wisp right past you, and it's starting to go by you. And it's walking towards the entrance of the mountain. We now cut to Peleus. All right, Peleus. You are in the cave, and you've just had the information that this voice knows your mummy, and a little bit of trickery to get you here as well. About your amulet. At this point, you start to hear in the distance like a low thud, and the ground sort of shakes a little bit in front of you.
That's my stomach. That's Peleus' stomach. It hurt his tum-tum. He goes, "Who's there? Who's there? Show yourself!" And he starts waving his light quarterstaff.
Yeah, in front of you.
Yeah, frantically. Show yourself.
What angle are you coming from?
Who are you? Where are you coming from? I ain't scared. Come on.
All right. So Peleus, do you think your mother would have sent you here if she thought you were going to die?
To be quite honest, I mean, no, but you never know. All right, so what's the test? Come on. Also, who are you? What's your name? Let's start with names, then, maybe a drink.
And then she says, maybe you should roll a history check.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. 23.
Okay. Then you hear in your mind your buddy Ashwin. Go to Inindrel. She'll give you the items that you're looking for and send you on your way.
Oh, yeah. He did mention you. Yeah. Now it's coming back. Like I said, I'll black out. I'll pass out.
And to be fair, also after that, you had I think you're still under the effects of it. You took several swigs off of your flask, and I put you at I think I put your constitution or something. It was like a 4, and now it's down to a 1.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So,
I forgot to bring this up. You still have your boots off technically, unless you said, because you took them off the second you got on the land. You battled the scorpion. You did all this stuff without your boots on. I've just been kind of carrying them, unless you want to now specifically put them back on.
I should put my boots back on. I just, now that the effects of that flask are wearing off, I'm realizing I've been barefoot for a long time. Yeah. I'm going to put my boots back on.
Okay, boot sound effects, click, click. And as you exclaim, "Oh yeah, my boots," out loud, you feel this in the darkness, the sort of rumble getting closer to you, and then you feel this thud, and what feels is a very large, like, the only thing I would say is like a pillar stopped right in front of you, and with your sort of staff, I'm assuming you're just standing there now after you've, I'd like to think that maybe you held onto your staff and were kind of like hopping on one leg to put your boots on or something like that.
Yeah.
And so there's enough of a light that you sort of see, when it stops, this very large sort of cylindrical-esque object. And it says, "Well, follow me, Peleus." And we now cut to Yamhorn.
Ew, I don't know if I want to do anything. It was gross.
Oh, you said ew. I
yeah.
what you said.
Well, mysterious voice. It would seem...
Do you not know who I am?
I
believe you were sent here for a specific reason.
I'm trying not to...
Did the druid not tell you the name? Roll a history check, please. Says the mysterious voice.
16.
Then you would hear the druid in your head, Ashwin. Right, you go to the end of the island and you find Inindrel, and she'll have you 2 items and send you on your way.
Inindrel?
Ah, so you were told. Good. I was going to have to go spank that silly little druid. Lest he runs through the trees. I hate when he does that.
Yeah, he has a pretty bad habit of doing that, and that was really frustrating. Can I have the items, please?
Oh, no. There's still more tests to pass, Yamhorn.
Oh, vey. Okay, well, let me at it. Let's get this done.
And how far did you go into the cave? Not very far, right? You just sort of got up next to the wall?
Yeah.
Okay. So from down in the cave, you start to hear a very large object walking towards you.
I'm just... What is that?
Now we cut to Ren.
So
What are you doing?
Is it still really dark?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna ask her what the sound down the hallway is.
Shaco, that's me.
But you're here.
I'm everywhere.
Oh.
So, would you like to go on with the tests, young Ren?
If there's tests to get these, I feel like Ulagon will guide me and
Ah, yes, Ulagon. Quite the character, him.
I'll pass whatever test you can throw at me.
Doesn't sound like you'd think.
He sounds exactly like I thought.
Oh.
A
You must-
god.
Oh. He must like you.
I think we're on good terms.
Okay. So, Ren, you're going to hear this large object getting closer to you. You can tell that it's walking.
What does it sound like? Is it like rocks or is it like flesh or
It doesn't sound like it's like a stone giant since you've battled that sort of thing before. It sounds like it would, be fleshy. It sounds like it would be more of a natural creature walking towards you, but booming with every step, and the sort of booming and the ground sort of rumbling gets louder as you as it what you can assume is getting closer to you.
I wish I had some way to light this area. I'll just take total defense until I can see what it is.
I don't like this helplessness that we all feel.
Metagaming, I'm surprised no one's just turned around and walked out of the cave.
This is the test. This is where we need to be.
I was going to, but
Is it?
It wasn't my turn.
And so, okay. So, Ren, all of a sudden you feel the object getting insanely close, and then you feel and hear one more step, and it seems awfully close to you, and with enough force that it blows out your light, and it says, "Come with me, Ren, into the sunlight." And now we cut to Duroc.
So I imagine that, I just heard this giant rushing sound kind of go past me or whatever. And I say, "What's this? Part of the test then?" What, some foul beast you need me to slay? Can't do it yourself.
Oh,
That
Duroc.
was good.
Oh, Duroc. Always looking to rush into action. Follow me, please.
What, out of the cave?
Yeah, the object's walking past you. I was like, or you can stay here in the dark, but I'm going outside where it's nice.
So be it. I've go out.
So you start to follow it out?
Yeah.
Okay. You turn around, and as you're walking out, the light all of a sudden hits it, and almost like it's immediately just like being revealed behind a corner. You start to see the silhouette of this very large object. Like, with how big the mouth is, it doesn't look that big, but you're also going like, you realize how much you have to like look up at it, and kind of you're like, oh crap. You internally think, I'm really glad I didn't have to fight this. And now we cut to Peleus. Peleus, the object seems to be standing in front of you. Just sort of stopped.
Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah, it's big. Yeah, alright, no. Well, did you say go with you or follow you? Because I will do that. Not fight you.
You're smarter than some of your friends.
Well, there's a first for everything, Yeah, not always the brightest.
The voice says to you, yes, come with me, Peleus. Follow me into the sun. And it starts to move past you, and it takes a couple of steps, and you just sort of stand there because you're trying to gauge like how big is this thing based off of like the foot movement and between the steps, and now you sort of are picking up that this is likely a four-legged creature. There's definitely some space, and you're like, oh, this thing is huge. And you feel it just in the dark, sort of like moving past you. And as you turn around, you see it getting toward the edge of the cave's mouth where the magical sort of shadow stuff like is overtaking you. And it pops its head out through the little barrier part, and it's backlit, and you see gargantuan silhouette, something with a very long neck and a very large head.
Oh, so it's like four-legged stone giraffe. Am I close? You said long neck, that's all I thought of as giraffes.
And with that, we cut to Yamhorn.
And I guess listening, being in a cave, in the dark, unable to see, does it sound like a creepy thing, like a critter?
No. Yamhorn, you realize that it sounds like something that is very, very large as it takes big steps, and there's enough sort of time in between the steps that you're like, okay, this is a big thing.
It's not like a skittering of spider legs.
No, and you're, and with each step, you kind of feel like, ugh.
Okay. And I guess my butt clenches and I grab my hammer two hands as it's getting closer, not really knowing what to expect, kind of darting my head around as if I'll somehow be able to see.
Relax. I'm not here to hurt you.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe you.
Okay. And since you're about you're just like right on the precipice, right?
Yeah, just inside.
Okay. So you, similar to Ren, feel it getting closer. Like with each step, it's a little bit louder. It's a little thuddier. And since you're right there on the precipice, you also see this outline. And your butt really clenches. Because as it...
You hear the snap of my cheeks.
Yep.
Clench, yeah.
Yeah. As Van Damme once said, I can crack one that's with my butt cheeks. Yeah. And you would have on that one. Ren, what were you doing exactly?
I just took total defense and my candle went out and you asked me to go into the light.
Okay. So you, once again, you're just standing there in front. You feel it starting to walk over you. And you're going to turn around. And what you guys don't know, but is exactly at the exact same time for all of my players here, is you see it hit that mouth opening where you guys basically lost light. And you all see a very tall, long-necked creature. And as it hits the sunlight, it now knows that it can be seen, and it takes a half a step more out, and it turns back and looks at you, and it says to all of you, are you coming or not? And in front of you, you see the most magnificent golden dragon. And it's got a very, very wonderful diamond sort of like pattern along the top of its head, almost like a snake, and down its neck and over its back and tail. And it's like a nice teal blue that really accents the gold. And so, Ren?
I'm actually really impressed by this dragon. I think it's really, really pretty, and it doesn't seem that threatening to me. So I'm going to follow it out of the cave.
Nice.
But also, it's mixed with the gold. I'm going through the monster manual here for my players. Let me see. Let me find it. I need to find the other one. So, its body is is that of its coloring rather is that of the one that I just showed you, which for the listener is on page 107, Ancient Bronze Dragon. However, the body and the coloring is actually that, and the stats is that of an Ancient Gold Dragon. But the coloring, I like the gold and the teal better.
And the lankiness.
I just like the coloring on that one better. But like the gold dragon, that's the ancient gold dragon. That's and so that's sort of like, you know, with the hanging sort of stuff. You know, it's a little bit more. You know, in the monster manual, that seems a little bit more male to me. This, you know, it doesn't have as like, you know, the sort of Fu Manchu like
Mustachy.
mustachy thing. This looks a little bit more elegant in features and face and that sort of thing. So it says to you all, are you coming, Bren?
Yeah, I walk out of the cave and I get up close to it. I'm not really afraid of it.
Okay, Duroc.
Duroc, while he's walking out, sees the enormous size of this thing, would like to exercise his ability, know your enemy, and while he's walking, study a creature to learn if it is superior, inferior, or equal in strength.
I can answer that for you.
Duroc wants to know all the stats, strength, dexterity, constitution, of course, AC, current HP, total levels, etc.
Wow.
You get all of that with that spell?
Yeah, to learn if they're more powerful or less powerful than me.
So you get to know all of the stats?
No. Just if they're stronger than me, basically.
Okay.
Which I assume the answer is yeah, like they're just stronger than me. But
I would say, so what, I have to tell you the stats then?
No.
But I'm going to assume that that 40 on a strength beats yours.
Barely, but yeah.
Just doubles it.
He doesn't. He'll never admit it. But
Right.
Does it have more HP than me currently?
Only if you can beat 546.
On a good day. Okay. So Duroc, sensing the mighty power of this majestic creature.
And you also realize as you're doing this, you hear a chuckle in your mind, and you can tell it's the same voice. And she thoroughly allows you to read her stats. Any of the listeners can go to the monster manual and read what it is. But she shuts you out right when you realize how powerful of a legendary creature she is.
In fact, she's so confident in her ability, she'll tell me that it's on page... Oh, sorry. I thought you had the book open.
What was it? 113.
Page 113, you can read my stats, she says. Ha ha ha. And then I march out into the light. Of course, one hand, swords in my scabbard, shields on my back.
One hand in your bag, looking through your monster manual.
up the page out.
And then you look at it and you go, oh crap, I'm glad we didn't fight in the dark in the cave.
Right. I mean, yeah. The dark would have been preferable if I didn't know how big it was.
Okay.
But yeah, one hand on the pommel of my sword, and instead of having that authoritative stance, I'm trying to like get a little bit of a swagger so they don't see how,
Scared
you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Ren and Duroc, where do you walk to when you get up there? Knowing you're coming from out of the mouth.
And where is she standing?
She's just like right in the mouth area.
Yeah, I just come up right on like the right hand side of her.
Okay.
And get as close as I feel comfortable, maybe like 5 or 10 feet.
Okay. Yeah. Duroc?
Yeah, I walk past her if
Okay.
I can.
Sure.
Do I see Ren when I'm doing it?
Nope.
I walk past her and out into kind of more the opening, kind of winding around, I guess, what would be on the left of this. It would be my right as I'm coming out.
Okay.
And sort of turn to face her and be able to see kind of the cave entrance, the dwarf head, and her.
Okay. Yeah, you do, and the light's hitting you just right where those golden scales really, really sparkle and shine. But those, and they're actually, they look even darker. Like they're not like shining bright, like sunlight hitting like a white paint job or something like that. It actually like makes them almost feel warmer and darker. And you can look at them, but they're glowing almost like a golden like brick or something like that. And the green is like shining, like a really nice like emerald type of feel to it. They almost seem like translucent, the scales. Gotcha. And she looks down at you. We now cut to Peleus. Peleus, you've seen this large object. And what is your initial reaction to it?
Oh my god, it's a gold dragon. Excuse me, ma'am, in drill,
yeah.
right? Yeah, can I ride you?
Maybe later. We still have some tests and things to do.
Oh, all right, no, I get it, but like, you're a dragon. Oh, we'll ride a dragon.
All right, so as a player, where do you walk to, Peleus?
So Duroc is off to.
Well, here's the thing: you don't see them. I mean, if you were to look out there, you don't see the.
We still don't see each other.
Yeah, you don't see each other.
Okay. Well, I'm just.
So
gonna...
you just see her. Think of it as like she's mentally controlling 4 different stories in the same area, just like on different planes.
So, well, since Peleus thinks this is like totally bitching, he's gonna walk out in front of her, just kind of like looking up, being like,
Okay.
This is awesome.
I think Peleus would try to climb up on top of the dwarf's head so he could like be up on because that's about 25 feet tall.
Then that's what I'm gonna try and do.
Okay. Yeah, give me a little athletics.
Athletics, okay.
Or acrobatics.
Oh, I am not good at that.
What about acrobatics? It'd be in dexterity.
Yeah, I am not athletic whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
We'll just chance it.
All right.
I'm gonna try and climb up the smooth side.
Well, luckily for you, there's like sort of like it's like a helmet that he's wearing, so like it's a very ornately designed helmet.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
there's different
little
stuff.
footholds. Okay.
Yeah, there's different stuff that you could kind
Here
of.
we go with a -1.
You can do it.
18, so 17.
Nice. So you actually your like childlike excitement overtakes you. You're like, oh, dragon, and you just like run and kind of just like. You really see this sort of like elven grace to you, and you pop up, and now you're about 25 feet tall up, and you're still looking up at her because she's a couple
Huge.
100 feet tall.
She's a big girl.
Yeah, and then she kind of like takes her long neck and head down and like brings it to eye level with you, and is looking right at you, and you realize it's like this thing's like the size of a small tank. It's just like the head alone. You're like. No boy.
Holy crap. You are a big girl. You're a big girl. Normally I don't say that, but look, you're a dragon, you've got to get that a lot.
I get told a lot of things. Being called a big girl usually follows like kill the big beast, but you seem to mean no harm.
It's totally a compliment. Yeah, normally it's not, but like here, totally a compliment.
She appreciates it. And now we cut to Yamhorn.
His breath catches in his throat as I'm going to start using the she pronoun just for ease. As she steps into the light, his breath
it's a she, so you can do that.
Catches in his throat and kind of drops his jaw and stutters out, "You're beautiful."
You hear her just sort of lightly chuckle, and she says, "It's a very interesting take. I don't normally hear that. Most people are scared, but you don't seem to be."
I'm in awe.
That's very kind of you.
And
you see the same sort of sort of, you all do see the same glow that I described to Duroc, kind of like that, on her scales and that sort of thing.
I relax my butt cheeks, and
She tells you to. She's like, you can relax now.
It takes effort.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. He's like,
I didn't even realize it was happening.
She gives you a wink.
And I still have my hammer out, but I now lower it down to my side as I walk towards the light, kind of getting close to her, and just as I get closer, my gaze goes up, like staring at like the bedazzlement.
Mm-hmm.
And I get close and I say, "Are you my friend?" And not like in a desperate way, but like I'm trying to figure this thing out. Like
Sure.
if because I am obviously overtaken with it.
Yep.
And I just want to make sure it's not going to be at my demise.
Okay. She sort of chuckles, and then swifter than you could imagine, her long neck. Which side are you standing on her? Right or left?
I'm directly behind her, walking up towards the light.
And as you get closer and you ask, "Are you my friend? Are you my mother?" Her head and her long neck drop in like a snake. She brings it around because she's looking in. She like whoosh, and her face is just right in front of yours. And she kind of like does a little puff of smoke out of her nose, and she notices that you clench again.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you just hear laughing in your head. She goes, "I'm not here to harm you, Yamhorn, as I've already stated." And then her head slowly kind of goes back away, and you see her mouth open in what you assume is the dragon form of a grin. And then her head goes back up, and she starts to walk a little bit more out the cave and says, "Come."
And I slowly, cautiously unclench and walk into the light.
Okay. Yeah. She says it to all of you, all three of you, that, follow me, please. And what she ends up doing is, because she needs room to breathe here, she kind of ends up walking around and going towards like where the path is. So this is the path you guys came down. And, there's trees all along either side of the path as well. She says, Mama needs to stretch her legs. And so she walks around. Do you guys follow? You can just yes or no me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So she walks around to basically where you guys started. And, she's now facing the thing. And she's seen, the same thing that you guys saw when you first got there. And she's like, "It's a wonderful sight, isn't it? It's beautiful."
Who made this?
It was made for us so long ago. I've forgotten the name. It's when you've been alive as long as I have, you tend to forget stuff. But it was beautifully done. The first person who, what is his name? It's the dwarven man right there. He helped us originally when we first arrived here.
She's saying that to all of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Just reading up on stuff.
Put that away.
Cheater.
Sorry.
Dude,
She was trying to remember the name of the dwarven sculpture.
Oh, yeah.
Baron
well-
Throd.
Barondrad.
I think
No.
it's Benadryl.
That's fine, but you have to interact with her if you want that to happen.
It's Barondrad, my lady.
Yes.
All's close.
Barondrad.
Barondrad,
Yes.
you say?
The original dwarf of the planet. He gave birth to everybody that would eventually, end up becoming your pal Duroc, who actually took that news a lot better than I thought. I thought I'm glad that he knew. Not a lot of people know of Barandrad. But then again...
So Duroc goes all the way back to the original dwarf?
Well, I mean, in as much as if it were a halfling sculpture, you would go back to that.
Oh,
we all
so like
start
Adam
some.
and Eve kind of thing.
I'm unsure of the reference, but
well.
I will take it as a colloquialism that I don't understand.
It's from the great book of Urlagan.
You halflings are an interesting group.
Do you know Ulagan?
Oh, I'm familiar. Talked to him once or twice. As I said, voice is a little jarring. But if you're a fan, hey, I'm not here to knock you what you believe. We now cut to Peleus. So, Peleus, you were on top of the head, and you decided to follow with the rest of the group, unbeknownst to you. You guys are kind of like all on separate little planes and that sort of thing.
Right.
So, where do you want to come up to?
Well, I think I'm going to walk right up to the platform there. Right up
Okay.
to the stairs, yeah. I'm going to go up there. Where is Inandriel?
She has, for you, you watch her, you watch her walk along the path in between the trees and the fingers holding the platter. And then she kind of like where you guys came up that long, narrow path. She just kind of like does a little U-turn right there and kind of sits back down like on her back haunches and just kind of spreads her wings a little bit, flutters them. It's like, giving a little stretch, and she's standing there, talking to you, having given you all the information that you heard before with all the other players.
Okay, all right. So we gotta do something. Is the test on this platform? Is that where we do the tests for the stuff, the items? Got it that time. Didn't slip me mind.
She kind of chuckles, and she says, she's like, I see why your mother likes you so much. She's like, you're a lot of fun. The tests, the items, of course. Now, your friends, they have their own, but you have something that you need to complete. You'll notice that your amulet is only half complete. It's like a crescent moon. And there's that little notch missing out of the middle. Haven't you ever wondered what happens with the other side? Or have you always just thought that was it?
I have absolutely never wondered. I thought this was the whole amulet. I thought it was the whole thing, really.
Okay.
Like I said, probably woke up with it around my neck.
Oh, she kind of, you hear her kind of chuckling to herself. And she kind of like, what you assume does the dragon version of a smile, because you just see these big teeth kind of like come up and around.
Oh, is a dragon smiling at me? Oh my god, this is the best day.
We now cut to Yami.
In trying to prepare for this task ahead, I ask her, do you have any wisdom to share? Will you permit me any wisdom to prepare for this test?
I would say know your history, Horn. Know in the deep recesses of your mind. The deep recesses of your mind, the answers are all there. Whether you realize that you know them or not. All you have to do is be a little clever. And, remember what you're supposed to.
I am screwed.
You very well may be.
There's
There's one person I do worry about as I've been watching the progress of you. Although, that dwarf and his temper.
I immediately drop to my knees and say, do you mind if I just say a quick prayer?
Oh, by all means. We cut to Ren.
Damn, I really wish I was there.
Pray to you to show mercy on me, great dragon.
I want to ask her, are you like related to the dragon that we released? Or are you like its mother?
No, I am not the mother of that foul creature that has been unleashed on this world.
I agree. We should make sure it doesn't continue to live.
That is, while I don't disagree with you, that is hard for me to get on board with, as the youths are saying.
To a 78-year-old halfling.
Because for us, it would be like you having to kill another halfling. Someone that you've known for, well, millennia. It's very hard, but his mind has been twisted, and has been, over the years. Multiple times. We got to Duroc.
Yeah. Barandrad, huh?
What is that?
Barandrad.
Barandrad.
Yeah. Did you know him?
I did.
That's cool.
Ah, yes. More colloquialisms. In her head, she's seen all of the conversations between all four of you guys
Right.
simultaneously.
So Duroc
So she's
hears
making
that,
a joke.
She's like, oh, yes. I'm like,
Well, no, you guys don't necessarily hear unless I say it's for everyone. But so she just made a joke to herself. She did a callback on the colloquialism, and she kind of chuckles, and you're like, all right.
right. I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yes, Barandrad, he was wonderful. He got here just a little bit after we did.
What, like on a spaceship or something?
Oh, no. No. A spaceship?
Yeah.
What is that word?
Well, it's like a ship that you would ride in the ocean, but it sails in the ocean of stars instead.
It's very poetic.
You're very well read for a dwarf. That's interesting.
Well,
I had not heard that term before, and I've been around the block a few times. Millennias, in fact. No, to this world. When we were brought here to this world.
On a spaceship.
No, as I've already stated.
Oh, like magic?
You would call it magic, yes.
Got it.
That kind of showed up around the same time as all of us, as you would call them, legendary beings sort of arrived.
There's more?
Oh, there used to be a lot more, but you folks, once you kind of got your footing underneath you here, not just dwarves, but the other races that are here, once you all sort of became your own unique individual things, found it interesting to conquest after legendary people who were really here to help your world. I and my brother and the two other dragons that were brought here originally, well, we were all sent to the word to help you.
I'll tell that to all the dwarves that Zarvog killed as he invaded our town.
Ah, yes, Zarvog. He once was my favorite cousin. However, his mind was twisted and warped.
By what?
Otherworldly things. Games that have been played across planets, and galaxies, and far lesser beings than yourself, just for the amusement of the gods. Ooh, we now cut to Peleus.
All right.
So, Peleus, the tests ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yes, there's going to be a couple of tests.
All right.
However, and then a final third one that I hope you're ready for, but we'll be very interested to see if you can pass these. Let's hope the sun hasn't addled your brain too much.
Oh, well, no, it probably has, yeah, no. My brain is quite addled, but I'm great at tests. I always pass them, and if all else fails, I just cheat. So,
Well,
pirate.
Oops-a-daisy.
Uh-oh, pirate.
Oh, she's like, well, Mr. Pirate, prepare your brain.
Oh, it is.
And we cut to Yamhorn.
So when you cut back to Yamhorn, he's mid prayer, and if you're listening in, you could hear him mention, "Sweet Ren, if you can hear me, grant me guidance or a blessing or something."
I wish I was there.
I don't know if you can hear me.
She chuckles, and out of nowhere, Ren, all of a sudden you start looking around because you hear Yamhorn's voice that says, "Sweet Ren, please grant me guidance, because I'm about to roll."
Can I grant him guidance?
Without thinking, you put out your hand or whatever. Like you just put up your hand like you were about to touch his hip, just as like because you've done it so much, you're just like, oh, and you just put up your hand like that's where Yamhorn's hip would be. All of a sudden, Yamhorn, you feel a little touch on your hip, and you look around. No one's there, but you definitely felt it for a
I look
second.
around.
Like Interstellar taught us, the power of love transcends the dimensions.
Black holes. Yeah.
Okay,
So that's a D4 for you.
so
Did it?
Rendered
Do I
your
feel
call.
blessed or whatever?
yep, you feel the same
Oh.
things that you normally feel.
Oh, praise be Ren.
I've been praying
This-
to the wrong gods.
This. No, honestly, this is really going to change things. I think this is really weird.
It's gonna get real.
Okay.
Yeah, because you started off this season being like, nah, don't believe it.
Yeah. The spiritual stuff.
And then
Yeah.
it kind of first started to come back a little bit, like in the caves, and
Yeah,
now
this is
okay,
really
cool. So
weird.
what do you do?
I say, after feeling that really bizarre touch on my hip, I snap my eyes open and look around to see if I see any Ren. And when I realize that he's not there, I look up at the dragon and I say, I think I'm ready.
For what?
The test. The task I'm supposed to do to get these items to help save the world.
And that's where we leave it for this week.
Oh my god.
So, hey man, we're over an hour at this point. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Chaotic Amateurs. And tune in next week to find out more. Make sure you're liking what the old wizard guy's about to say it. I've been your host and DM for season 2, Bentley Michaels. To my right, we have
Caleb is Yamhorn Darrell.
Dash as Peleus Earth.
Rhett is Duroc Dragonsbane.
Milo's Ren.
grab your swords and keep on adventuring.
Follow us across all platforms with Chaotic Amateurs. Please subscribe, rate, and review our show on your podcast app of choice to help us climb the charts and find new adventurers. Or become a patron on Patreon to help our heroes continue their quest. Thank you for listening to Chaotic Amateurs.